Welcome to the Enjoy More 30s Family Finance Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to making life more enjoyable for young families by hitting on the financial topics that tend to weigh on us, stress us out, and distract our focus from simply enjoying life.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of this Raising Your Investment Mindset series. This series, we're wanting to help you reframe how you may view the scary unknown out there that is known as investments, and therefore be able to utilize them in a more constructive way, better reach your goals, and make life more enjoyable. As always, if you do like what you're hearing, please make sure to subscribe, follow us on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, clicking the stars, leaving the reviews. It really helps us reach literally millions of other young families out there. Last week, we discussed how we don't want to ask if our investments do good. We want to ask if our investments are, one, on a path to get us to a specific goal, and two, are they doing so effectively when compared to their peers? So if you haven't checked out that episode yet, definitely do that soon. Today's episode is titled Buy High, Sell Low, which is an easy, self-explanatory title, really, but something way too many people are actually doing out there. We don't want to buy high and sell low. The goal for today's episode, if you can say this at the end of the episode, then you have succeeded statement, is I now better understand what normal is for how often downs do occur, and I'm better equipped to not emotionally sell low when that happens. Recently, my son Noah, being the lovely boy he is, was not listening and was pulling away to go play in the mud. And as he did this, his elbow popped out. So this quickly became super scary and stressful, as your 2-year-old is not able to move his hand or his arm, is crying hysterically and looking at you for help as you try to soothe him, calming as you freak out on the inside, shouting, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? So we take Noah to the pediatric urgent care right away, all panicky. They take him in about 5 seconds, pop it back. They say it's called nursemaid's elbow, and since he's so young, the ligaments aren't, set enough, but he'll grow out of it. Here's a lollipop. We'll see you later. It was one of those, I really wish that somebody, told me about this ahead of time, that this could happen. Like, hey, if this happens and the elbow pops out for a 2-year-old, don't worry about it. Bring him to the doctor. It's okay. They'll pop it right back in and he'll be on his way. And, knowledge is power, right? If I knew that ahead of time, it would have made the situation much less stressful. For so much of what we do, that is the case. If you think about your kids or your job or some other experience in your life, you can likely think of where it was maybe stressful at the time, but now with the knowledge that you've learned, it's really not a big deal anymore. It's easy. This is the same thing when it comes to investments. This is the why didn't anyone just tell me that kind of a thing. So here's the knowledge. Investments go up and down. They will always go up and down. Do not expect your investments to never go down. Unless you are parking all your money in a bank account, basically guaranteeing little to no real return after inflation, ups and downs should be part of your expectations from the start. And statistically, and this may be surprising to hear, you should expect a correction, meaning a 10% or more decline in the stock market every 18 months on average. So if you are listening to this right now as a 30-year-old with maybe 30 years to go until retirement, that means you should expect roughly 10% drops over the course before you get to retirement. And then when you're in retirement, it's going to keep happening. So maybe another, 40 to 50, 10% drops in your lifetime. Just like the kids getting, nursemaid's elbow, this would be the normal thing to happen along the way. The problem that most people have is that they either are not told that this is normal, or despite knowing it's normal, they say, this time is different, and they sell during the drop. They bought high, then they sell low out of fear. And I get it. I really do. I mean, you see your hard-earned money declining in value. You see your goals getting further away, but at the same time, declines are normal and you should absolutely expect them to happen. And mentally and emotionally prepare for that to occur. Remember, recoveries, whether they take 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, that's also normal. So again, if we go back up to the top, if you expect your investments to never go down, then we're saying that something that should happen another 50 times on average throughout the rest of your life would never happen again. Supposed to on average happen 50 more times, but would happen never again. So again, that it doesn't add up, right? The knowledge that the normal is what we should be expecting. Finally, this is why we have talked about diversification before. So not owning just one or a few individual stocks, but rather having a professional advisor, or at the very least using an allocation fund, as mentioned in the last episode, to spread your money out across many areas of the market to try and smooth out those rides. Likewise, having funds invested for when you need them. So money needed in 6 months should not be invested, kind of a thing. As we move to the end of this episode, let's circle back around to the goal statement. If you can say, I now better understand what normal is for how often downs do occur, and I'm better equipped to not emotionally sell low when that happens, then you have succeeded in the main takeaway from today. Thanks for tuning in today, and join us for next week's episode called The Stock Market Doesn't Care About Political Parties, where we're going to speak to one of the main items that seems to drive people's sentiments and investment decisions, despite long-term evidence pointing against it even being considered a factor. So overall, if you're able to implement what we covered today, then that's fantastic. You have less to worry about than before. Go out, focus more on enjoying life, do something fun today. If you're wanting help with these things, though, if you have questions, you need help in answering, check out the Ask Joe section on the show's website, enjoymore30s.com. That's enjoymore30s.com. And you can also connect with me directly by visiting my wealth management firm site, New Horizons Wealth Management, at nhwmllc.com. Until next week, thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.
The conversations on this show are Joe's opinions and provided for general information purposes only. They do not constitute accounting, legal, tax, or other professional advice for your specific situation. You should always seek appropriate advice from a financial advisor, accountant, lawyer, or other professional before acting upon any content or information found here first. Joe is affiliated with New Horizons Wealth Management, LLC, a branch office of TFS Securities, Inc., and TFS Advisory Services, an SEC-registered investment advisor, member FINRA/SIPC.